Hi, and welcome back to Score Connect. I'm your host, Anna-Vija, and I am here today with Cedric Williams, the owner of Poppin' Bottles Bar Service and the newly self-published author. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. We're talking a little bit about his journey as an entrepreneur, and also through the pandemic, through some self-exploration, and through sort of realizing that you had more to give, and also that you had a little bit more time to give it. So we were talking a little bit about the concept of like FOMO and connecting with people. You know, how does that play out in your book? Because what you're really sharing is the importance of the journey, not just the goal or the destination. And a lot of times our sort of hustle and grind culture wants us to focus on that and then move right on to the next thing. But really, there's a lot of joy in that journey.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of not being so anxious and enjoying the process. As I said earlier, you know, you have to take the small successes and celebrate them and build from them. I call them the 3 S's to success. And
the S's to success?
The S's to success. Because what we do at first is we look at the word success and look at achievements, we look at possession, you know, we look at collecting accolades. But what we have to do is reach within and look at the 3 S's to success. And number 1 would be to set a standard for your life and understand, okay, this is where I launch, even in business. This is our vision. This is our mission. And then from there is service, giving a quality service through your product, through the quality in which you serve the people. And then the last one is really taking some time and have some self-care and embrace the silence. Oh. So a lot of times
I was with you on self-care, but silence is like a whole,
a lot of times we don't take the time to just silence ourselves, silence our minds, silence the noise. You know, even though that, I mean, now with social media, we have image, but we also have sound with it. I mean, you post, you could put music with it, you know, you could say different things. And I think sometimes we just have to take a break, pull back, and just embrace the silence in all of that we do. So,
So your book, it gets better after this.
That's right.
A lot of our Score clients would love to write a book.
Yes.
And I know that the journey to self-publishing and or being published is a long one, and one that we definitely do not have time to go over on this show today. But I would love to hear if you have, from your experience, it sounds like you got it started because you felt compelled to write this book. What does the actual journey of self-publishing look like? Like, what are some of the steps that you might say, hey, this is something you need to look for, something that you need to be aware of to get started for those of us who are thinking about it? Well,
first you have to look at owning your story. And then number 2, you have to look at, okay, everyone has a story, but what solution does it provide? What problem will it help the world?
How's it relevant?
Yes, how is it relevant in modern day times? You know, you look at my story, overcoming bullying. Well, we have a lot of bullying going on in all types of arenas, every industry. We have a lot of people with low self-esteem. You know, this pandemic brought a lot of negative energy. So, you know, my book has a lot of encouragement, affirmations, quotes, things to uplift you. When I look at the authorship journey, I think you have to make sure that you have a research and a plan of action. You also need to look at your strategy in which, okay, let's do some research. My journey was different because I kind of felt like, okay, I went on YouTube and I researched some people and I understood.
It does. That's research,
And so that helped my structure. So, you know, look at, you know, basically get in an outline. Are
you talking about modeling? Like, this is somebody that wrote a book that is similar to what I want to write, or this is a writer that I admire their style or their formatting, and kind of doing the research to figure out how do you want your book to flow and sort of modeling that and creating a structure?
That's right, like a template, and you know, not more like a copy.
Oh, no, you know, we're not plagiarizing or copying. No. We're modeling.
We're modeling. So it's really like a publishing 101, you know? So you're looking at getting a title, getting a structure of an outline. And that all develops content and manuscript for your book. Looking at, okay, how many chapters do I want? But the chapters don't come, you know, every phase has a different process when it comes to writing. And say, oh, I want to write a book. You know, unless you have enough big money to say, hey, write this for me, put my name on it. You know, you want it to be authentic. You know, as an author, I think it has to be authentic. And I think it also has to be practical. And I think it also has to be impactful all at the same time. I do believe that you want to set aside a budget and look at who you want to do your graphics, who you want to do your marketing, your advertising. You also want to look at understanding how technology operates when uploading your manuscript to Amazon and all those things. Yeah. You need to be aware of how to find different ways to market and strategy. For me, I started promoting my book through an app called Clubhouse, which actually helped enhance my public speaking. Nice. So you have to find different resources to start marketing your book before it's even in your hand. And I think sometimes we think, oh, I don't have a book, but then you have to also look at, okay, you can start marketing your story way before your book is processed.
And the story, I think, is important. Gaining the audience and finding the right audience for your story. And I think you mentioned for yours, finding other people who have self-esteem issues, who feel like they've been the victims of bullying, who feel like they want to get past that trauma or find something more in their life, and are looking for that experience or that guidance or that inspiration. That's your audience. And so finding them might take a little bit longer than, hey, I have a book, do you want to buy it? You know, it's going to take a minute. And then with that, I believe, kind of comes that confidence, right?
That's right.
So interestingly, you mentioned several things in there. So you're talking about budget, you're talking about planning, research, structure, writing a whole book is in there. You know, the graphics and the technology and all those things. Did you do all of that on your own? Did you work with someone to do that?
I did work with someone. There's so many ways that you could do it. You know, you have publishing companies that give you a deal and like, hey, we'll do everything for you. And then you have the self-publishing companies that kind of package everything up for you. And then you have people who do it all on their own. I didn't have time to do it all on my own. I wanted the freedom to be able to write from a place where I can develop my story authentically. And then I had a team of people, a self-publishing and 30 Days company that helped me. They were my publisher. And I valued a lot of their wisdom and a lot of their structure in which to package everything together. I think it's imperative that you know every step and not get overwhelmed. A lot of times when we look at producing a book, we get overwhelmed, but you have to enjoy the journey. You know, one paragraph, one paragraph at a time, one page at a time, one chapter at a time, one book at a time.
And they don't even have to be in order. The writing the book could be like, oh, I started with chapter 3, and then I wrote chapter 12, and then I wrote chapter 1, and then I wrote, you gotta bounce around.
It's funny you say that because I actually had 7 chapters, and my editors went through it and said, hey, you have so much content, let's stretch it out. I went from 7 to 18.
Wow.
And they're short chapters, but that actually keeps you engaged.
And digestible. Absolutely. It makes so much sense. Well, in getting help with that and the connections, the community, there are people that can, that do this every day, that can tag in and let you focus on your message and your journey is really important. SCORE is actually one of the organizations that can help somebody do that. So if you are looking to write your own book, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, because in some ways, as you heard Cedric mention, this is like having your own business. It's own business to publish your own book. But SCORE can definitely help with that. So would love to hear a little bit more about where we can find out about your bar service, as well as where our viewers can get your book. We'll be back in just a few minutes to do that. Please join us.